But first, we check in with the crack man, Bill Krackomberger. Unscripted. Unscripted and remote. Not in studio, but at an undisclosed location somewhere in this great nation of ours. Billy, how you doing, man?
Yeah, hi. I feel like I'm underneath this lamp here, and if it was a little bit of a smoky scene, it would be like, where were you last night in Tokyo? Yeah, it's like, but yeah. Anyway, hey Gill, I'm glad to be on this segment because I just wanted to talk about something that was on my Twitter, and I started reading it. It's so tough to catch up with things during football, basketball, especially when I'm doing a little traveling and stuff. Trying to terrorize bookmakers around the country and world. But someone said to me about live wagering. He said, Bill, man, it's frustrating. It's a big problem. I tried to take 25-1 on something and was finally able to take 4-1. He says, if you want to move to Vegas and love live betting, don't do it. Obviously, his problem was in Vegas. This can be anywhere, though. But his problem was, I think the better thing is, if you want to bet sports for a living and think you're going to, you maybe want to reconsider and just keep it as a hobby or a hobby that you can actually still make money with. But perfect example, I'm not thinking against this person that had the tweet here, but if you're trying to take 25-1, I don't see 4-1. I don't know what the bet was. I don't see 4-1 being any value. To continue his text, though, he said we might as well be back in the 1960s for live betting. They are ahead with the feed. Oh, yeah. They are ahead with the feed so they can play God. It's a really good tweet, most of it, except for I don't understand how can you take 4-1 when you were trying to take 25-1. But what he's saying, guys, is there's certain sports books, and let me just tell you, it's all the sports books that came into when the new jurisdictions allowed sports betting. They're on a delay, and the bet doesn't go right through for live wagering. Now, I'm trying to think. I don't do a lot of live wagering. I believe, though, in Vegas, that like Circa, Westgate, South Point, I believe you could bet live and it goes right through instantly, accept it. But I'm not. Don't quote me on that.
No,
it's not.
No,
the lights.
No, and I'm not going to pick. And I'm not going to pick on any specific book. But let me just say this, because you and I have talked about. You and I have talked about even since the inception, right? When Andrew Garud was the developer of the Midas algorithm at the M so many years ago. They were always ahead, right? And it was like in a sinister kind of way. They were always playing God. And so you and I have many times on this show, we've come on and said, hey, they're always ahead. They can play God. You gotta really bet on commercials. Let me just add on something to that now. I have witnessed books here in town, a certain book, and if you applied that theory, and you're like, okay, I get it. They're ahead during the game. They're spinning on you to determine what the outcome of the next, bucket is in a basketball game. Let's use the sport of basketball. Oh, I bet you they spun here and they finally accepted it. That means this team probably makes this jumper. Watch. Yep. See, he made the jumper. Exactly why they took the bet, because that went against me. But you know what I'm saying now? That there is, and this I haven't seen before, but now it is, and it's really bad, which is, okay, then wait for the commercials, and then they take the whole thing off during the commercial.
Why have live wagering? You just let's be
dude,
blunt. You just want to cheat. That's it. I mean, Jesus.
So at that point, you're like, what are we doing here? Like, seriously, what are we doing? Like that really gets you upset. It gets you angry.
Yeah, it does. And let's call it what it is, like you said. Cantor Gaming, who got thrown out of town for doing many things. They didn't get thrown out of town for this, but let's just face it. They were cheating. And they were cheating guests. They had to pay back guest money on parlay prices that they eventually were fined in upwards of $30 million, the biggest fine ever levied against a casino sports book from what I know. And they were cheating. Now, think about it. The person that's in risk, he's not a sports bettor. By the way, I am only saying this because I know who the person was. He wasn't a sports bettor. He thought his job was to, and in layman's terms, cheat. He accept the bets that he knew that were going to be mathematically against him when the team scored a touchdown on that play, and take the bets that were the opposite side of that. It's kind of scary to say that word, and I know people get really upset. I was Gill, I'm going to divulge something here you don't know. I was given in my mail. It shocked me. I got a certified letter from one of the sports books that said, "We want a retraction from you. You said the word cheating, and we want a retraction, or we're going to sue you financially."
Wow.
And we're going to sue you. Yeah. So they tried to sue me, and believe it or not, Gil, I welcomed it with open arms. When I sent back the letter to them, they must have been like, "Wow, this guy's crazy." No, I wasn't crazy. I had video footage on my phone, video footage of two of my friends holding up phones, betting opposite sides in a game when Kansas City, I remember this like it was yesterday. Kansas City was on the 1 yard line. They both hit the opposite sides of the game at the exact time. I'm filming the whole thing. And of course, the side that scored the touchdown against them was accepted. The side that made the touchdown was not accepted. Now, granted, this was 4 years ago. So it was a little bit different now. I don't see that happening even with that company now. But I do know that this kind of stuff was going on. I was shocked to see the threat of a lawsuit, but I welcomed it with open arms because I had so much of my own information to put out there against that sports book. And I had, let's just be honest, I could have had a class action lawsuit against them for what they were doing.
Did you share that video with them? Was that your response, sharing that video?
Oh, no. They couldn't have that unless it went to a lawsuit. Matter of fact, Gil, next time I'm with you, I will show you the video. It's from 2019, but I'll show you the video, and you'll be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that happened." Well, you won't be like that, but most people will be like, "No way." I wanted to prove it, so I had it on video. And listen, I think they're more competent now, but you understand that Cantor Gaming. I knew the guy in Risk there. It was very bad, but he didn't realize what he was doing. This one person, anyway, he didn't look at it as cheating. He looked at it as his job.
He thought that was the gig. Yeah.
He didn't get it. He didn't even gamble. He didn't get it. I literally had to explain it to him one time, and it was. It's probably hard to believe. People at home listening are probably saying, "What? This can't be."
Well, this is. And let me just put it in context. So the reason why, and again, because I think it's good to stop and sort of give it context, which is because somebody's going to land in and be like, "Oh, there's Bill Krackomberger. He's always complaining about something." No. Why we bring up these things is because there is a tacit agreement, an unspoken agreement, right? Or an unspoken understanding that new bettors assume exists and newish bettors assume exist, which is that all of this is above board. And so you just have to sort of let folks know from time to time that all of this might not be above board. And so that's just sort of the dash of reality we want to throw in. It's not everybody. It's not most, maybe, right? But at times, you will see some of this behavior. And it's our way of saying, hey, look, there ought to be a tacit agreement that this is all above board, and everybody's got to do better. That's all.
Yeah, well, Gil, what am I supposed to do? Come on these shows that I go on, my own podcast, shows during the week, Fox Sports. What am I supposed to do? Come on there and just talk about what they think I should be talking about?
Yeah.
Or, I give credit to the VSiN network. I give credit to Fox. I give credit to my sponsor at WSN for my podcast to be able to talk freely about sports books and talk about things. We expect the best from legitimate companies that are licensed and governed by the states, but by the gaming agencies. But a lot of times the gaming boards, the gaming agencies, they would not know how to police something like a live wagering where a company could say, "Oh, we took a bet from Joe Blow at this location. That's why we moved it." It's not that. We know what it is. We know what it is. There's not competent bookmakers that are out there working in risk sometimes that they're paid to take bets and take volume. The CEOs, the presidents, even their manager, they want them to take volume. But a lot of times, let's face it, a lot of times they don't do that. They just want to get through their 8-hour shift, have no big decisions, go home and steal a paycheck.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying it's for everyone, too. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Some certain companies.
And if anybody's, thinking, oh, come on, again, my pinned tweet all these years, my pinned tweet on Twitter is still from 2018. This is right before PASPA was ruled unconstitutional and betting became legalized in this country, where I just took on William Hill straight on for what they were doing. They were legit trying to get out of paying, and this was pre-flop, right? This is pre-flop NFL draft bets. There's nothing live about this. They were legit trying to make up random reasoning as to why they weren't going to pay out bets. and we did a segment on this show. This was
I was there.
We did a segment, and we basically got Bogdanovich right after that segment called me right as the segment ended. It was like, tell everybody we'll pay him. Tell him to call me. We'll pay him all. And so, yeah, you have to sort of have these moments where you catch. Yeah.
Hill, to be fair, before I only got 30 seconds, Hill is much better now.
Yes, they are. 100%.
Totally, they take bets now. They pay.
Yeah.
No problem. Joe Asher's out.
Bill Krackomberger, everybody.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.